All right, Bears fans, gather round. This is not the time to scroll past. This is Bears News Fan Report, where we don't just talk headlines, we chase the storm. And what if I told you the skies over Hollis Hall are starting to rumble with something huge? Hit that like button and subscribe right now, because if you bleed navy and orange like I do, you know that feeling in your gut when something seismic is about to go down. Let me ask you something. How many times have we looked at this Bears defense, this storied, bruising, never back down identity, and thought, where's the fear? Where's the hit stick energy? The quarterback panic before the snap? We've had moments, glimpses of greatness, but something's been missing. A spark, a force, a name that makes offensive coordinators sweat all week. Long dot, and now, whispers are turning into full-blown debates across the league. Could Chicago be on the brink of pulling off a move so bold, so powerful, that it flips the NFC North on its head? Is Ryan Poles really about to turn the keys over to a future Hall of Famer to anchor the edge? There's something brewing. The chatter isn't coming from just fans. It's coming from insiders, analysts, former players, people who know the smell of smoke before the fire hits. And it all starts with a very simple, very dangerous question. What if the Bears are ready to bring in a legend? Now, before we drop names, let's lay the foundation. The Bears made huge strides this offseason. Caleb Williams is in the house. Rome Odunze might just be the steal of the draft. The offense is buzzing with potential for the first time in years. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. None of it means a damn thing if we can't stop elite QBs on the other side of the ball. And yes, Montez Sweat is a monster. We saw it last season. He changed the rhythm of our pass rush. But let's be real, Bears Nation. One guy can only do so much when quarterbacks still have time to bake a pie in the pocket. We need more. We need fear. And that brings us to the name that's starting to send shockwaves through every NFL war room. Von. Freaking. Miller. Yeah. Take a breath. Let that sit for a second. This isn't fantasy talk. This isn't clickbait. This is rooted in the growing belief that Von Miller's next chapter could be written in Chicago. A two-time Super Bowl champion, 123.5 career sacks. A proven leader who doesn't just chase greatness, he drags it into every locker room he walks into. And after his time in Buffalo, with injuries and scheme misfits clouding his production, there's a hunger in him that only true Bears fans will understand. Redemption. One. Final. Run. And what better place than the city of grit? And second chances? Miller's situation in Buffalo is tense. The Bills have restructured. They're younger. They're moving in a different direction. And Von? He's not done. Not by a long shot. And Poles knows that. This front office didn't flinch during draft day. They've shown they're not scared to go big. So why not go huge? Think about it. Pairing Von Miller with Montez Sweat on opposite edges. That's a nightmare. That's collapsing pockets in 2 seconds flat. That's bringing back the monsters and monsters of the Midway. That's giving Caleb and the offense a chance to play. With a lead, with swagger, with confidence. And for fans who stuck through the double doinks, the fourth quarter heartbreaks, the coaching CAROUSELS. This will be a shot of adrenaline right to the soul. But this story's not finished yet. Because if Von is even considering suiting up in navy and orange, you better believe there's more behind the scenes. Questions that still burn. What does it mean for the cap? For our younger edge rushers? For the identity of this locker room? All I know is this. Something's shifting. Something big. And Bears Nation, get ready. Because the roar might just be returning. Asterisk if you believe the Bears are finally waking up. Hit that like, and let's finish what we started. Picture this. Von Miller pulling on that navy and orange jersey for the first time, his signature grin under that helmet. Steam rising from his shoulders in that Chicago November chill. Now imagine the opponent's quarterback spotting him across the line, remembering every Miller time highlight they've seen. and feeling that same knot in their stomach that Bears faithful know all too well. This isn't just a signing, it's the reclamation of a legacy. It's the return of the edge terror we haven't truly felt since the days of Mike Singletary barking out orders, since the '85 defense made offenses tremble at the mere concept of crossing the 50-yard line. Let's say the deal goes through. 2 years, reasonable cap hits, incentives tied to sacks and playoff wins. Suddenly, Chicago becomes the hottest free agent destination in the league. Young edge rushers like Jared Verse and Tyreek Stevenson get to learn at Von's feet. Practices in Lake Forest turn into masterclasses, quick hands, violent club moves. Game film sessions where Miller breaks down rival quarterbacks like a detective unveiling a case. You can feel the culture shift already. This isn't a rebuilding project anymore. It's a championship blueprint in progress. And the locker room, it buzzes with new energy. Older vets who've seen every coaching regime look around and finally think, okay, they're serious. Statistically, this would be seismic. Von's last healthy season, 11 sacks in 12 games. Montez Sweat recorded 8 last year. Combined, you've got nearly 20 sacks from your bookends, enough to vault the Bears into the top 5 in sacks per game. That changes game scripts. Opponents start lining up 5-man protections just to handle the edges, leaving the middle vulnerable for Roquan Smith or the secondary to feast. We saw what a top 10 defense does for a team's odds in 1985. Chicago allowed just 12.4 points per game on the way to 15-1. This isn't nostalgia. It's a roadmap. If you can replicate that kind of dominance, even in spurts, you're forcing playoff teams to recalibrate. And let's talk rivals. The Packers, are they ready for Von on primetime Monday night? The Vikings, hosting their union of stars in the playoffs, how do they scheme up against 30-plus-year-old wisdom, still moving like an all-pro? Even the Lions, fresh off a run, would wonder how to handle 2 legitimate edge threats. Suddenly, the NFC North isn't a 3-team race anymore. It's a gauntlet built by Ryan Poles' vision. And you better believe that volume in rival. Fan bars shifts from smug confidence to worried whispers. Because this is Chicago unleashing pressure again. On the financial side, sure, there's risk. But consider this. Miller's previous 5-year deal with Buffalo was north of $120 million. Ryan Poles could slide him in at a fraction, reward performance, and still maintain flexibility. That's smart management, the kind that builds rosters year after year. And for fans wondering if the front office is all talk, this will be proof that Poles doesn't just dream big. He acts big. He doesn't let hype die on his desk. He moves. He delivers. Now imagine the narrative. Week 1, Soldier Field packed to the rafters. The roar so loud it rattles windows in Chicago. Von rushes off the edge, strip sacks a quarterback on 3rd down, and the crowd goes nuts as tape of his super. Bo heroics flash on the Jumbotron. You watch his celebration, then pan to the sideline where Montez and Roquan are pumping their fists alongside him. That moment will be etched into Bears lore. It'll be more than a play. It'll be the turning point we've hung our hats on for years. And here's the heart. This move isn't just for today. It's for every fan who's ever stuck by a team on the brink, who's ever choked back tears after a gut-punch overtime loss, who's ever dared to believe in a turnaround. It's for the kids in the stands wearing Miller's old Broncos number, now begging their parents for a No 40 jersey in Chicago colors. It's for the generations who crave that classic grind-it-out, smash-mouth brand of football this city deserves. So when that final signature is inked and the press conference lights up the Bears' Ring of Honor, know this, it will not just be a headline. It will be a declaration, a statement that the monsters of the Midway have unleashed a new era, one built on championship pedigree, relentless pressure, and unapologetic ambition. And as the cheers echo through Soldier Field, you'll realize we've crossed the threshold. The waiting is over. The roar is back. And nothing will ever be the same.